Let's talk about the last apple you ate. Seriously, think about it. Where did it come from? What was its journey like to get to you? For, well, pretty much all of history, that journey was a total black box. A single point of contamination could go unnoticed for weeks, and the consequences, they could be devastating. But today, something's different. That apple is being watched, protected by a silent, incredibly powerful guardian. In this explainer, we're going to pull back the curtain on the invisible shield that artificial intelligence has built around our global food supply.
Right? It seems like such a simple piece of fruit, but that apple's journey is a full-on high-tech saga. See, AI isn't just some abstract concept in a lab anymore. It's a real practical tool that's woven into every single step of the supply chain, from the soil where that apple first grew to the supermarket shelf where you picked it up.
We're talking about predictive analytics that can spot crop disease before it even shows, all the way to automated sorting systems that can literally see contaminants that are invisible to the human eye. AI is completely rewriting the rules of food safety, so let's unpack exactly how this invisible shield works, layer by powerful layer.
Okay, so here's our game plan. We're going to follow the food itself. First, we'll get a handle on the sheer scale of the global food challenge. Then, we'll dive into the fields to see AI in action before following the journey through the intelligent supply chain. And finally, we'll tackle the really big question. How do you even begin to govern a technology this powerful?
First things first, let's just appreciate the scale of this challenge. Feeding nearly 8 billion people is one of the most complex logistical puzzles on the entire planet. And with things like climate change, constant supply chain disruptions, and a growing population, the whole system is under more pressure than ever before.
And this isn't just one problem. It's a whole web of interconnected challenges. It's not enough to just have more food. We need that food to be safer. We need to produce it with way less waste, and we have to do it in a way that protects our environment for the future. This is the incredibly complex puzzle that AI is now being deployed to solve.
So where does this invisible shield really begin? Well, it's not in a factory or on a truck. Nope, food safety starts right here, in the dirt. This is our first, and you could argue, our most important line of defense.
You see, AI in agriculture is all about striking a very delicate balance. It's not just about cranking out the maximum yield at any cost. Research shows the real magic of AI is in helping farmers make smarter, way more precise decisions that actually boost productivity while protecting the environment.
And the toolbox AI provides is just incredible. We're talking about everything from drones using hyperspectral scanning to spot the chemical stress signals of a plant disease days before a person could see it, to tiny smart sensors that map out environmental conditions in real time. These tools give farmers a surgical level of precision, like applying the exact amount of fertilizer needed, which stops harmful runoff and protects the crop from the very beginning.
So once the food is harvested, it kicks off this long, complicated journey. This is where things used to go really wrong, where food would spoil or get contaminated. But now it enters what we call an intelligent supply chain, one that's managed by a totally new kind of traffic controller, agentic AI.
Now, this is a fundamental shift. We're talking about AI systems that can operate autonomously, on their own. So imagine a refrigerated truck carrying fresh strawberries. If the temperature suddenly starts to rise, an agentic AI doesn't just ping an alert to a human. No, it can diagnose the problem, talk to other AIs in the supply chain to find the nearest repair crew, and even reroute the truck, all without waiting for a person to intervene. And this is exactly how it works in the real world. This quote shows that these AI agents are proactive. They're like digital detectives, constantly monitoring for threats, forecasting potential issues, and recommending solutions to make sure the food gets where it's going safely and on time. It's all about preventing problems, not just reacting to them after the fact.
So how do all these AIs talk to each other and coordinate? Well, they use a framework like the agent-to-agent, or A2A protocol. You can think of it as a secure, super-fast social network just for AIs. An agent in a warehouse might discover a shipment is delayed. Using A2A, it can instantly find, verify, and communicate with the agent managing the trucks to reroute traffic. I mean, what used to take hours of phone calls and emails now happens in milliseconds, potentially saving an entire shipment from spoiling.
Okay, but with this powerful, autonomous technology managing the very food we eat, we have to ask a really critical question. Who's in control? And how do we make sure it's all being used responsibly? This brings us to the crucial topic of governance. And right here, this is the core dilemma. On one hand, the benefits are just enormous: safer food, way less waste, a more efficient system. But on the other side, the risks are pretty significant. How do we ensure accountability when an AI makes a mistake? How do we coordinate thousands of these agents so that one small error doesn't cascade into a system-wide failure? This is exactly why governments and major organizations are stepping in. A recent White House memo on AI specifically called out food safety mechanisms as a safety-critical function. And that makes sense, right? When an AI is controlling something this vital to our survival, you can't just cross your fingers and hope for the best. You need rules. So these are some of the key principles being put into place. We're talking about agencies being directed to rigorously test these AI systems, to understand exactly where the training data came from, and to validate any claims a vendor makes about what their AI can do. It's all about building a system of trust and verification from the ground up. So when you put it all together, this layered system of AI, from the farm through the supply chain, and all of it governed by strict oversight, it's fundamentally changing the entire equation. It's moving our food supply from a system of chance and uncertainty to one of predictable, verifiable safety.
And that brings us to our final and maybe most important question. As we build this incredible invisible shield, we also have to design very clear lines of responsibilities. Because when an AI system fails, and at some point one will, who's accountable? Is it the developer who wrote the code? The farmer who used the system? The corporation that owns the supply chain? Or the government that regulates it? Defining that chain of accountability, well, that's going to be the next great challenge in securing the future of our food.